You're watching Byline Wilmington on CBS 10 WILM. Here's your host, Don Ansell.
Sid Causey, Deborah Butler, our guests on the second half of our special one-hour Byline Election 2010 series. By the way, if you want to watch any of our shows online, you can go to WILM-TV.com. When you get to our homepage, the CBS 10 homepage, click on Byline Wilmington, and you can see all these interviews forever. I just bought my granddaughter a computer, and I said, remember, whatever you do is on there forever.
Right.
All right, the Cape Fear Public Utility Authority seems to be the favorite whipping child of folks running for office. It's been strongly criticized since they took over the consolidation of the city-county water and sewer operations. Sheriff, your thoughts on that?
Well, they inherited a bad situation. I think over the years have been bad planning on preventing and replacing, and all of a sudden they've got it all. But I personally was disappointed in our council and commissioners because they created it, and then once they created it, they said we don't have anything else to do.
So the idea of an independent authority, it doesn't sit well with you?
It doesn't. I believe the commissioners were elected, the council was elected to represent the people, and once they gave that authority and their authority up, they're unable to do that. And it's my understanding they elect people to represent them. They can't do that now. So,
do you like the way it's separate from the fact that it's independent? Do you think it's running well?
No. And not without supervision. Everybody needs supervision. I mean,
well, I mean, they have a board that's.
Yeah, but obviously, it's not going very well. I mean,
well, the public doesn't think it's going well. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well,
right. And
if they can show different, I want to. Should I get elected, I'm going to look firsthand into it.
You are.
You hear a lot of things. Yeah, I'm going to look into a lot of things if I'm elected. I'm that kind of person, but I'd like to see why our school board's doing certain things in this utility thing, but get firsthand knowledge rather than sometimes all reports are not exactly accurate as they appear.
Your take, Deborah?
Man, I'll tell you, the deferred maintenance on our city water and sewer, and in the county also, it's clear to me that we knew critical mass was coming and the utility was formed in that spirit. And unfortunately, people who were promised sewer and Kings Grant and other places 15 years ago and who paid fees and so forth never got it. I'm really concerned now, the Cape Fear Public Utility Authority, the latest and greatest is that they are going to extend the contract with the very firm called SunGuard, a New York company, by the way, who botched the data merger in the first place and caused that 8-month delay in billing. We are going to reward incompetence like that? I just can't, that really sticks in my
Wait, say that again. They're going to extend their contract?
The very same contract with a company called SunGuard. They're going to extend that contract, and they are the folks responsible for the data debacle.
Right, the billing.
Yes, and that company, the explanation has been because we only have 3 years left on that contract. We don't have enough time to find a substitute company.
What would you think is the real, if that's a, I mean, there's thinking people behind that. What would the reason be?
I have no explanation for it because I feel very confident that if I have 3 years, first of all, if I'm elected, it's not glamorous to sit on the Sewer and Water Commission, but I'd love to do it.
Everybody I interview running for commission wants to be on that board.
Well, I don't know. Well, because as a property owner, I've seen some of the policies they've implemented. The landlord-tenant policy is a disaster. I went to 10 meetings to try to get that straightened out, along with 15 other property owners, I'll tell you, more.
Do you think that the increases are unwarranted?
I'm sure that
the cost.
I'm sure that the infrastructure is in need of dire repair. I think that is obvious. But what has happened is they're trying to recuperate that expense from fees alone, and that is going to price us out.
Where else would they How else would they fund that?
Well, historically, it was subsidized from the county and
Oh,
from
so
the
you
city.
think it should be subsidized?
Well, we're going to have to restructure the whole thing. I'm convinced of it. I don't think you disband it. Certainly not. That's not reasonable.
Would you like to
think.
bring it back into government, the government fold?
I don't think that legally we can do that.
No?
You know, you realize that all of the property from the county and all the property from the city has already been deeded into this
Right.
authority. It would be
You'd have to, I may be mistaken, but I think you'd have to go to the state to be rechartered, maybe.
I think you would. And I think that that's probably not necessary. But certainly a very in-depth restructuring, in my opinion, is in order.
Let's move on and get some quick responses about some other issues. Cape Fear, or excuse me, the Cape Fear Skyway Super Bridge project. Support it?
No, we can't afford it. It's just it's a wonderful idea, beautiful. You look like Charleston, and you know, love to have it in a perfect world. But we've still got sewer running out in our backyards, and so many things we need now, and we just simply cannot afford it.
Your take on that?
Don, we have not gotten the infrastructure dollars from the DOT here in eastern North Carolina like other parts of the state. And so I support the preservation of the corridor, which is what the County Commission has just done. I support that so that it may be studied and so that we can get our fair share of DOT dollars. Look, all you have to do is get on 74, 76, or 17 and try to come in or out of Wilmington at certain times of day. It's a nightmare. If we're going to lure new industry and new business, we have to be able to provide for people to move around. So I'm all in favor of studying it. And
$50 million revenue shortfall every year for 40 years.
It's a challenge, no doubt about it.
Do you have any reservations with the county's controversial new solid waste disposal deal with R3, the startup company?
I'm very much in support of that, in the premise of it, because it's innovative, it's cutting edge, and I am very cautiously optimistic that it will work. It's not entirely new, Don.
It's just putting
and we have a $5 million letter of credit as a safety net.
All right. I'm a little worried about us being the first one, but hopefully they've studied it enough. I talked with staff, and they do have a $5 million safety net, as Ms. Butler said. So hopefully the taxpayers won't.
Really quick, we're almost out of time. It's my understanding, and I won't say it's a reliable source, but I've heard that Jonathan Barfield is sort of on tap to be the next commission chair. You would be part of that vote. Would you vote for Barfield?
Well, sure, he's qualified, to say the least.
You would?
But I want to be a part of the decision. I mean, I think
if you're elected, you would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I certainly don't have any problems with Barfield. I have no aspirations of being either chairman or assistant chairman.
We're out of time. Thank you so much for joining
You're
us.
welcome.
Next week, or next time rather, we have Senate 8 and 9, Goolsby Lutzy and Rabin Redwine. Next special edition of Byline Wilmington. I'm Don Ansell. You have a great week.
You've been watching Byline Wilmington on CBS 10 WILM. Join us every Sunday morning as we explore the issues that concern you.